Yo, what's up? I am Tensa, and this is going to be a bit long. You might want to watch on a higher video speed. I just turned 38, which means I've been watching anime for about 25 years, since I was at least 12 or 13. So far, I've watched at least 120 series. This list is going to be every anime I remember watching. I will say it's pretty likely that I missed a few when compiling the list from my anime list. Main reason for that is A, I'm old, and B, the names of all the series on my anime list is in Japanese. So when you're scrolling through tens of thousands of anime on like hundreds of pages or whatever it is, I'm sure I missed a few here and there, but these are all the ones I remember, and it should be the vast, vast majority of them. Before I get started on the rankings, just a couple of quick guidelines. These aren't going to be really rules because rules make rules lawyers. So this list is based on my own subjective, objective opinion, and as such, it's obviously the correct opinion. You're free to disagree with me. I live in America. You're allowed to be wrong here. So just a few notes about the tier list. I'm sure pretty much everyone should know how this kind of thing works at this point. S is the best. Lower is obviously worse. If you see something get a C tier, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's usually watchable. Maybe it's just not for me. But pretty much anything below a C is going to be bad. Also, I'm going to have a special tier list here because you'll probably hear me say things like, I really don't remember much about this show, which that just happens, especially when you've been watching anime as long as I have. But in most of those cases, I'll still remember the vibe or the feeling I got from the show. So I think I can still usually give them a pretty fair rating. In the scenarios where I don't remember a damn thing about the series, other than I did watch it at some point for at least a few episodes, I'm going to give this one a good old dementia tier. So that's just my own personal tier. It could be a fine series. It just means maybe I watched 2 or 3 episodes, don't remember jack shit about it. And that's just kind of how things go sometimes. Usually it's not a great sign though, because it does mean it might not have been interesting enough for me to even remember like my opinion on it. So just something to think about there. With all that being said, I guess I will go ahead and get started on this tier list. First up, we have Afro Samurai. I don't remember a ton about the main plot of the series. I do remember it was a fun watch. It was entertaining. Had good, like great action scenes actually. Story wise, I'm pretty sure it was a little bit on the lighter side, like not too deep. Good enough show, fun to watch. Go ahead and give that a B tier. After War Gundam X. I've watched quite a few Gundam series, but ultimately, there's probably been like 65. Just a small exaggeration, but there's been a lot of Gundam series, and I've definitely not watched even half of them. After War Gundam X, if I recall, was something they showed on Toonami. If you're as old as me, you know what Toonami is. If you're in the younger generation, back in the early 2000s, pretty much the only way to get anime was if you were a kid and didn't have disposable income, like I didn't, was to watch it on cable, which at the time, really the only channel showing anime was Cartoon Network, and they had a Toonami block. Later, they would have an Adult Swim block, but those were really the primary ways we got our anime in those early days. I think that's where this series premiered, in at least in my anime journey. I think this is going to go in the C tier because this is another one which I don't really remember a ton about the core plot. It did have a slightly different take from most Gundam series. Like it seemed, if I'm recalling, a lot of the Gundam stuff was sort of secondary. It was a little guerrilla warfare-y. Hopefully, I'm not confusing it with a different series, but it was still pretty cool. It just didn't really stick out of my mind that much. Air Gear, I watched like 3 or 4 episodes of this. This is when the early days of piracy first started. So at this point, I'm probably 5 or 6 years into getting into anime, and you start to find out that there's like a whole slew of stuff in Japan that doesn't come over here. So what do? You turn to torrents or LimeWire or whatever the hell we were using back then. And this was a time when I was just like, I'm going to go download pretty much everything. And anything that sounds even remotely interesting, I'm going to check it out, see if it's any good. And I think Air Gear was one of those early ones where I was just like, just try everything. Don't think I got far into it. It was fine. It just seemed like it was not really geared towards my tastes. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a C tier. Air. This is a weird one because this is around the same time as Air Gear, where I was just kind of experimenting. I was trying to find out what did I like. I'm trying to give other stuff a chance. And this is a very slice of life show. It has like this weird mystical kind of background element to it, but it's really not that great unless you really enjoy slice of life stuff. I was really hoping that they would lean into the like the mystery element that was going on a little more, and they really didn't. So for that reason, I'm gonna give this one a D. Not great. It could be for you if you're really into slice of life, but didn't really do it for me. Akame ga Kill. Great show. Very fun, very interesting. Some pretty good characters, some not so great characters. I know a lot of people really like the main villainess. I don't know if she was really that interesting, to be honest. And I do remember that the ending I was not a huge fan of. It's a fun show. It's going to be probably a high B. It could even be a low A. It's hard to say for sure, but for now, I think high B is good. Akira, people are probably going to think I'm fucking crazy for this. I watched this again when I was like a really young teenager, and I don't remember anything about it. I mean, I remember there's a motorcycle. I remember there's like crazy mutating stuff. So, I mean, obviously, this is a cult classic. Most people have good things to say about it. It's probably something I should rewatch at some point, especially now that I'm older and have a slightly higher IQ than three, just slightly. So maybe I'll rewatch this one, but for now, this is going to the dementia tier because I don't remember anything about it other than it was weird. Astro Boy 2003. Astro Boy 2003 was another one of the, if I'm recalling, the Toonami drops back in the day. This might have even gone to Adult Swim at some point, but basically, it's a pretty early anime. Definitely rough around the edges. Has some cool moments. I don't even think I saw every episode. I probably saw like a little more than half. It's fine. It's watchable. If you're really into this series or genre, especially if you like kind of this early aesthetic of like even the 2003 version has that like 80s 90s aesthetic. So I'll give it a C. It's fine. Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin. Great series. One of the best for sure. I was not super happy with the ending. I didn't hate it. I know some people, I know it was very polarizing. Some people absolutely hated it. Some people absolutely glaze it. I think it's great, just as a series, but ending not my favorite. Really great characters, very cool kind of lore and system. The first season has a lot of mystery, and I feel like you don't really understand the full scope of it until like late season two, early season three, and then the story kind of blows wide open. I do really like a lot of the elements they touch on. Sins of the father, is blood guild a thing? Stuff like that. I really appreciate. So I think Attack on Titan for me is a very high A. It's bordering on S. It's just not quite there. Berserk 1997. This is definitely one of the ones I saw probably a little too young. I was like 14 or 15. Pretty sure I got this through the intrawebs. I've rewatched the 97 Berserk like 5 times, and it actually did get me to start reading the manga back in the day. So I mean, this is again like early 2000s, mid 2000s. I probably read I think I read all of the manga chapters that were out at the time, which was a lot. They're really long chapters. If you've never read the Berserk manga, it's very long, like 2 to 3 times the length per chapter of most other series. But yeah, I've fallen off of the manga. This isn't really a manga tier list, but the 97 show, amazing. It's one of the best that's ever been made. Super cool theme, very cool like plot line, all the betrayals, all of the feels and the emotions, even the music. I'm really a big fan of the opening and a lot of the themes. Really, really enjoyed those. So Berserk S tier, without question. Easy S tier. Berserk 2016. Berserk 2016. I love Berserk. I am a Berserk fanboy. I will say, Berserk 2016 was pretty disappointing for a couple reasons. For starters, they really shit the bed with the animation. A lot of it's in CGI and not particularly impressive CGI. I still liked it. They did do a lot of censorship from manga scenes, which was just totally unnecessary. I'm gonna give it a C. I think it's still watchable. If you're a Berserk fan, I think you can get through it. You might have to grit your teeth a little bit, kind of cover one eye from time to time, just so you don't, damage your brain entirely. Just one side at a time, kind of even it out. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I spelled dementia wrong. Nice. Berserk Golden Age Arc 1 is where we'll start here. So basically, if you don't know, the original Berserk 97 series basically covers kind of like the first arc of the series. It ends at a very significant moment. It's kind of like in episode 1, you see Guts as he started his mission, and then it kind of rewinds time and it goes through like how did he get to this point up at episode 1. And then they went on this 20-year hiatus or whatever it was. So the Golden Age arc, the movies 1, 2, and 3 covers the entirety of Berserk 1997, and it does it a little more faithfully to the manga for the most part. The downside here is, yet again, they have gone through and done some censorship. What do you know? So with that, they've done some censorship, and they also have a lot of the weird, 3D CGI. It looks better in the movies than it does in the 2016 version. It's still not amazing. I will say it's personally for me, all three movies, they were great. They were a great summary of the 97 arc and much more condensed. Obviously, it's in HD. So, for all of those reasons, it's going to get a little bit higher than the 2016 series at a solid B. Definitely watchable, especially if you're a Berserk fan. 2016, not so much. Black Cat. I don't think I've seen all of the series. I think I've watched maybe most of it. This is another one where I just honestly don't remember much about it. I will say if I watched all of it, which my list says I did, but I'm not 100% sure on that. If I did watch all of it, it's probably better than the dementia tier, but I'm putting it there. I don't I don't know. It's one of those ones where like I feel like I should remember it more because it has some pretty notable character designs. I remember the character designs pretty well, but the actual plot, not even a little bit. Black Clover. This one might be a little controversial. I've started Clover. I've gotten into I want to say episode 7 or 8. I like the premise, and some of the characters are cool. God, I hate the main character so far. I'm sure he gets better, but there's just so much like he screams like every fucking line. Why does he have to scream every line he says? It's completely unnecessary. It's not only is it unnecessary, it's very annoying. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up this show and watch it. I have a lot of friends that have great things to say about Black Clover. Obviously, it's one of those series that has a big following. I know they just released or they just announced another season, which has been on hold for a while, if I understand properly. So for now, I'm going to give this one a C tier. I think it could probably be a high B, maybe even an A if I give it a better chance. I've heard just great things about different fight scenes and stuff like that. So I will probably give this a chance in the future. But for now, it is a C tier. All right. Bleach. If you didn't notice, I am a certified Bleach fanboy glazer. I fucking love Bleach. It is my favorite series. Having said that, if I am judging purely the anime series, if I'm judging Bleach as a franchise, it is an S. For me, it is great. I love all the characters. I love the plot. I love the theme. There's really, from a holistic series perspective, I think it is super fun, very cool. It's just it's everything I want in a shonen personally. Ichigo's a badass main character. Like, there's never really a point when I'm annoyed at Ichigo where I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" That really never happens, and that's pretty rare. Like, you might even say that that's a bad thing because, like, yeah, there's times when he's a little hot headed and stuff like that, but I think he's always understandable and relatable. And I don't think most series get that. Even series with a strong main character, sometimes they just have, weak moments or flaws or annoyances for the crowd. I'm sure some people have those complaints about him. I don't. So anyway, back to this specific series, which is the OG Bleach anime. The fillers are awful. It's crazy the difference in quality, both like story and animation, from the main Bleach storyline to the fillers. Kubo is a fucking genius. He comes up with some of the coolest shit, craziest like ideas, coolest powers, and somehow the people that do the writing for the fillers are like the polar opposite. It's just like the most boring, mundane stuff. Some people like some of the fillers. There's really none of the fillers that I like. So, and also the pacing is not great. It was releasing at the same time as the anime for a long time. So that's always an issue, right? When the anime starts to catch up to the place that the manga is at, they have a few options. They can stop producing new episodes, or they can put in a bunch of filler. And in Bleach's case and several other shows, they chose to do a lot of filler. And in my opinion, it really hurts the Bleach original anime. So I'm still giving it a high B because it is Bleach. And like I said, I'm a fanboy Glazer. But the original anime is rough. If you've never watched Bleach and you would like to watch Bleach, first of all, you should. Second of all, you should skip the fillers. If anybody tells you differently, they are lying to you. If you really want to check out a few, maybe go for it, but then just don't feel bad about skipping them. You're not missing anything. Oh man, one other issue that the fillers did is they tried to keep some continuity with the filler characters. So, for example, is it the Huecomundo Invasion arc? I want to say it's that one. So before that, they had a filler with some, and they tried to add some mod souls that were like in the same vein as Khan, but they're just so goddamn annoying and cringe. And they put them in future scenes where like those characters obviously didn't exist. Yeah, just God, awful. Anyway, back to the tier list. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, amazing, right? Fucking amazing. Like, it's an S tier. It's easily an S tier. It's my favorite series. It is fantastic animation. Kubo has worked with the anime team to expand some of the scenes because he did have to rush the final arc of the manga. Man, Thousand Year Blood War is so good, and I'm so stoked for season 4, core 4 this year. Really excited to see what changes come, and I'm gonna just be on that hype train that we get some future additional arcs. Hopefully that is the case. It is a little bit copium, but we will see. Blood Plus is a great series. Blood Plus is really fun, really cool, interesting take on. I think they're like vampires, or at least vampire adjacent. Obviously, based on the name, there is a significant theme of blood. The main characters really cool. The fight scenes are really cool. I think this is actually one that I have on my rewatch list. So, another video I'm thinking about doing is, or a series of videos, would be the year of the rewatch, because there are quite a few series that I've watched a long time ago. I know I love them, and I just want to get back and give them another chance, 10, 15, 20 years later. This is one of those series. It's so good, and I just really need to give it another go as an adult. For now, Blood Plus is getting a high A. It is a really, really great series. Blue Exorcist. Dementia tier. Do not remember anything about this. I think I only watched the first few episodes. Yeah, there's nothing there. Like, I'm searching my brain, and some of the character designs I recognize, not even all of them. Like the main character, I know obviously there's some exorcism that happens. It's kind of like a really early JJK, if I very loosely remember. But yeah, it just wasn't. Eh, it wasn't for me. Maybe it's fine, but I don't remember anything about it, and I didn't continue watching it. Blue Gender. Okay, this was also an early Toonami drop, if I recall. It could have even been early Adult Swim. So Toonami was kind of like the first block of anime that ran during the day. A couple years later, they started doing Adult Swim, and Adult Swim was like a block of mostly anime. I think there was some like Family Guy type stuff at the end, but that was at night, and that was probably when I was in high school. If I recall, Blue Gender was either late Toonami or early Adult Swim. Anyway, great series, really cool concept. I think the main plot is the main character is diagnosed with some kind of disease that is currently untreatable. However, they've advanced technology enough where they could, I think, like cryogenically freeze him or something like that. And the idea was, hey, we'll wake you up in 50 years when we think we'll have a treatment finalized. Sure enough, he gets woken up after being cryogenically frozen. And yeah, we can fix the disease thing you've got. That's not really a big deal. But yeah, we have this alien invasion that you need to help with right now. And I think it's because he has the disease, maybe he has like some advantage, or he had the disease. I think they recover him. I don't know. It's been a long time. This is on my rewatch list. It was a really good show. Lots of interesting stuff. There was kind of like a Starship Troopers element to it, but like with less humor. If I recall, it was like a pretty serious tone and just a really awesome concept that I think they executed very well. So for now, this is going to go as an A. This could be higher. I will have to reassess this after my rewatch. Captain Earth. I don't think I watched all of this. In fact, I think I maybe watched 3 episodes. This was recommended to me by a friend. My buddy Sean is even more of an anime weeb than I am, and he's a big Gundam guy too. So like, I know this kind of stuff. Mecha is right up his alley. He recommended Captain Earth to me. Love you, Sean. Fuck Captain Earth. Didn't like it. I mean, it was like 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, okay, what the fuck is happening here? This is so boring. There's nothing going on. Maybe it got some cool moments at some points, but I'm putting it in Dementia tier just because I don't really remember anything about it other than it was really, really boring for the first like 3 episodes I watched. I think most series I'll give like 3 episodes. But yeah, Card Captor Sakura. This was definitely in the Toonami days. This was not really something I watched necessarily. Like I sought it out because man, Card Captor Sakura, that's really cool. It was just on Toonami, and I've probably watched I don't know 20 to 5 to 50% of the episodes that were released on there. It was fine. It's a magical girl series. If you're into that kind of thing, maybe you'll like it. It's definitely not for me. For that reason, it is going into the C tier. Chainsaw Man. I have to say, when I first heard the name of this series, I was just like, what the fuck, Japan? What are we doing? What are we doing? I am really happy to say I was so wrong about this series, so far off base. I thought it was just going to be like goofy, stupid, not entertaining. I was like, there's no way you can make a series about a guy that is integrated with chainsaws. Interesting. But yeah, I should know better than to underestimate Japan. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck was I thinking? Yeah, Chainsaw Man's great. Chainsaw Man is amazing. It is definitely high A, maybe even S tier. I will say I have not watched the Reezy movie arc. I don't know if I'm even saying that properly, but I've not watched that yet. I've watched the first season, of course. I think they're doing a season that takes place after the movie, either this year or next year. But I'm looking forward to it, and I really, really enjoyed the first season. It's got like a JJK vibe to it, but like a little more goofy. And like they say, man, they pull the humor off so great. Like you really might not expect it if you're like I expected to be almost entirely goofy, no serious, and then it was like 90-10 serious to goofy, maybe even 80-20. Anyway, great series. I'm going to give this a high A for now. Claymore. Claymore is a great series as well. I think this, I don't know if this ever came to, I mean, I'm sure it came to the US at some point, but I don't think it was something I watched on Toonami. This was well into the era of all of Weebdom torrenting stuff, and this was no exception. Claymore, really cool series, very cool premise. Loved that the main character, she got stronger. She had to go through some shit. She was never like super overpowered. She was strong, but she was, she got her shit pushed in quite a few times and just had to claw her way back. And I did like that. I don't think I finished this. I know that the manga, I know the anime did not finish the manga. So, um, at least I'm pretty sure about that. But I think there was like some weird hiatus thing that happened with the series. So this is one I should probably rewatch as well because I don't think I saw the last few episodes. Not that the ending of the anime even ever finishes the manga, but it's definitely probably worth finishing or going back and just rewatching in general. But I'm going to give this a low A for now. It could be higher. Code Geass, La Louche of the Rebellion. Damn, what a good show. I've recently rewatched this. I was actually watching another content creator who was watching it for the first time. So I'm counting that as a rewatch. Man, great characters. Lelouch is great. Suzaku's great. Cece's great. Even a lot of the supporting cast are fine. There's definitely some moments I didn't remember and was kind of like surprised about. I was like, damn, I don't really remember that happening. But there's some shit in here. Like there's one of like the princess, he accidentally mind controls her to like kill all of her people, which that was fucking crazy. I kind of forgot that scene happened until I rewatched it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's fucking intense. Having said all that, I do think that it's got some pacing issues sometimes, and there's some kind of like logical leaps that happen pretty frequently. So it's still great. I'm gonna give it a high A. I think there's room for improvement. Cowboy Bebop, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, amazing music, beautiful 90s or I guess 80s animation, story is fantastic. I don't even really like futuristic sci-fi that much. I much more prefer swords and magic and stuff like that. But man, Cowboy Bebop fucking killed it from, I mean, just like the very beginning of the series all the way to the end. There's intrigue, there's action, there's great character moments. Every character aboard the Bebop is super flawed in different ways, and they're all awesome and they all complement each other. It's just like kind of peak ragtag group of assholes get together, and I mean they don't even really do anything like super impressive. They take down a cartel, if I recall, and do a lot of bounty hunting. But it's just a fun show the whole time. It's fun. It's great. I don't think I have a single bad thing to say about Cowboy Bebop other than it did end, and that that always sucks because I would watch the show forever if they kept making more episodes. It's an S tier easily. Cromartie High School, Dementia tier. One of my buddies got me to watch the first few episodes. I don't remember anything about it. Sorry, Cromartie. Cyborg 009 in the 79 version. So this was another one that either Toonami or Adult Swim started playing. So I don't think I've seen every episode, but I saw a good chunk of them, and it's fine. It's a clearly a 70s anime. It's lacking in quite a few different areas, but for what it is and for the time that it came out, it's not bad at all. In fact, I was like surprised that I found it interesting enough to watch. Like, there were series that would come on, Toonami or Adult Swim, and I would just immediately change the channel because I'm like, I'm not gonna. This is not for me. Cyborg was one of those ones where, like, if there was not something more pressing for me to watch, I'd watch it, and I didn't hate it, so I'm gonna give it a C. It's fine. And then Cyborg 009, the 2001 version, definitely a step up. I don't know if it's a big enough step up to go up a tier. So I'll just say it's like a high C. It was good. Pretty similar situation where like I think it used more or less the same story as the 79 versions. It's one of those things where like if you really want to remake a series, you've got to remake the series because a lot of the stories that we came up with in like the 60s and 70s, they're just not really doing it anymore. um, Not always the case, of course. We got stuff like the Lord of the Rings, which is timeless, but not the case for this series. Not the case. Next up, Dan da Dan. Wow, this show really, really shocked me. I didn't know it existed until it came to Netflix. And people started singing its praises. I think I almost wrote it off. Maybe write it off is too strong. I would say I almost pushed it off until later. And I think I just got bored. I think one day I was just like, there's nothing on. Oh, yeah, they released some anime on Netflix. I've heard good things about it. Turned it on. Immediately, episode one grabbed me. I like conspiracies. So the fact that the main characters were like, that was like the first thing that they were into. That's how they got along. I love that shit. It's a fucking wacky show. It's zany. It's crazy. It's just about everything that I would want in a show. The action scenes are great. All the characters are cool. I will say they play pretty fast and loose with like the powers and stuff, which I don't mind. It's just it has to be consistent with the show, right? Like if you're trying to make it sound like they have these set powers and it works exactly this way, I'm fine with that too. I like that, but I want it to be consistent. And I think Dan to Dan is just like right off the bat, like we're not doing consistency, okay? We're doing fucking crazy, and they do crazy extremely well. This immediately is going in S tier for me. Darker Than Black. This was one I discovered again back in like I don't. It might have aired on Toonami or Adult Swim at some point, but before it ever came to the U.S., I discovered it somehow through the internet. Downloaded a bunch of the episodes and really loved the series. I think I didn't watch it all for some reason. I don't know if there was just other stuff that was kind of gripping me, or maybe it might have even been after high school when I was in college. So for whatever reason, I never finished it. I definitely watched the first like 15 to 20 episodes and really liked it. Really cool concept. I will say I think I need to rewatch this because I don't remember a whole lot about most of like the main plot elements. So this one is definitely on the rewatch list. For now, I'm going to give it a high B because it was really cool. Death Note. So yeah, Death Note is one of those series that I think you could show it to just about anybody, and I think most people would enjoy it. Long story short, I think everybody knows this is getting an S. It's a great series, psychological thriller. Demon Slayer. Um, I'm a huge Demon Slayer fan. Definitely nowhere close to the levels of Bleach, but it's a great series. It's a simple premise, executed flawlessly, and of course, the animation is just insane. I mean, I remember season two. I was shocked at how good that season looked. Which one was the Entertainment District? Whichever season the Entertainment District was, I was just flabbergasted. I mean, I was convinced that they took the animators' families, held them hostage, and pointed a fucking gun at their head and said, "You draw the best shit you've ever drawn in your entire fucking life, or we're killing your entire family." And then the animators, they did it. They were like, mission fucking accomplished. We got this shit. Animation alone doesn't carry a series, of course, but the voice acting is great, the characters are great, animation's great. The story is, again, it's a simple story, but it is executed fantastically. I would say flawlessly. So, S tier for Demon Slayer. Detective Conan, or Case Closed, I think is what it was called in the US, if I recall, or maybe it's the other way around. Anyway, Detective Conan. I watched quite a bit of this series, but not all of it. It's one of those shows where I think it's still going today. I think it's like One Piece length in in how many episodes they've released, or at least very close. Yeah, I like the show a lot. I do think that it goes too far, goes too long. They need to end it. I don't think it's like it stretches belief when, if you don't know, Detective Conan is about a kid. He's a teenager at the time, gets somehow transformed into a young boy, and his girlfriend, who's still an adult or teenager, her dad is also a detective, but he's kind of a bumbling idiot. So Conan as a kid, uses him to solve mysteries, and almost all of them are fucking murders. So we're talking about like 1,000 episodes where in almost every one, at least one person gets fucking killed, and then he solves the crime. Now it's great, like it's fun to watch that play out. It does stretch belief quite a bit. I would say that if cops started figuring out that you just happened to be nearby when 1,000 different people died over the course of like just a few years, you would probably not be walking amongst the free anymore. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just kind of stretches belief. Obviously, it's anime. It's not real. I can tell. I can separate fiction and nonfiction. Very fun show. High B. So Dot Hack Sign came out before Roots. It is a interesting show. Very early isekai concept. If you don't know, it is the main characters in this like VR, RPG game, MMORPG game. He gets trapped there, and he just can't log out. He can't get back to his body, and lots of like interesting stuff kind of unfolds from there. It's a great series, very interesting. Kite is a cool main character. I would say I don't remember a ton about specific like plot points, but I do remember it being like a very fun show. I would watch it with my friends. We were pretty hype about it, and we even played a lot of the games back in the day. So this one's going to get an A. It's a lower A, but it's an A. And then Dot Hack Roots. It's like they kind of did the same story multiple times with Dot Hack and different series. And Roots, I think, was either one of the first or the second to do it after that. And I just, I feel like if you're gonna do it's like the same story. Like it doesn't, it doesn't hit as well the second time. Roots, I'm gonna give a high C. I don't even remember a lot about this series. The main character looks very similar to Kite, but he's not Kite, and it's a different name, but it's like almost the same premise. I'm gonna give this one a C. Dr. Stone. I love Dr. Stone. This show is so fun. It's like diet educational, if that makes sense. There's like things that are like factually true, but realistically, like you're not building a fucking boat in the stone world, even if you're a hyper genius or whatever. But it is a very fun show. Characters are all pretty awesome. Again, there's just a few scenarios where you're like, all right, come on. Like this guy's punching a lion to death. Come on. It's fun. It's an anime. Again, it's not reality. So, Dr. Stone, high A. Maybe even an S when it's finished. We'll see. It's not concluded just yet. I got all the Dragon Balls. I'm going to go in order. So I've watched every Dragon Ball series. Dragon Ball Z is the series that got me into anime. And I am going to be forever, grateful for that. And I love Dragon Ball Z. But we'll start with them chronologically. So Dragon Ball came out first. Not the first one I watched, because Dragon Ball Z was what was airing on Toonami back in the day. So I did watch Dragon Ball several years after Z. Still a great show, very fun. The journey that Goku goes on is like much more of the kind of stereotypical hero's journey. He starts off, he's pretty strong as a kid, but he's not, destroying planets and shit like that. So, it's a very fun show. It's very lighthearted, very goofy. Man, there are a lot of like creepy pervert scenes, even like really early in. I've recently saw the first few episodes again of the original Dragon Ball. Man, like Bulma flashing Roshi and just all kinds of just unhinged shit. It's still a great show, very fun. So this is gonna go high A. Dragon Ball Z. Again, this is one of the original ones that got me into anime. I I started watching this, I think, when the Frieza arc, like the very, very beginning of the Namek Frieza arc, and it was in the middle. I didn't know any of the characters. I didn't know anything about the show. I just watched it one day after school in like middle school. I'm like, oh, what's this? Let me check this out. Within like a few days of just watching, they might have been airing multiple episodes a day. I was hooked. Your stereotypical shonen. It's great. The pacing, I gotta say, it's gonna go behind Dragon Ball, just because if I'm being very objective here, the pacing in the original Dragon Ball Z, it's awful. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen, if you've lived on the internet for any period of time, memes about Goku charging up a Kamehameha for fucking 3 episodes. They're not really memes. They're kind of just true. It's just a hard and fast fact. Dragon Ball Z is awfully paced. I have to love it because it got me into the art form, but there's so many fillers, and even the episodes that aren't filler, the pacing is just, it's not great. It's not great. But I'm going to keep it where it is. I will say the next one is Dragon Ball GT. That's what I watched next chronologically. It's not great. I don't love GT. It's watchable. It's like a high C. If you don't know, Toriyama was not involved, or very limited involvement in GT. They kind of took it off the rails, which is weird because later Daima adopts a lot of what GT tried to do. GT itself, most of the villains are not super interesting. I will say the final villain, it was a cool concept. I don't think they did it great, but the idea of the Dragon Balls getting corrupted and then each ball having like a dragon demon thing, that like a corrupt dragon demon thing that they had to beat to restore the Dragon Balls, it was a cool idea. Again, execution, nah, not so good. And ultimately, just the lack of canon for it is, C tier. It's not good. Dragon Ball Super. I like Super a lot. It's everything I liked about Z and more. The animation's obviously way better. It's modern. It's HD, so that's fun. A lot of the characters are great. The power levels are starting to get to incomprehensible levels. It's hard to keep up with that sometimes, but if you just kind of turn your brain off and go, this is a fun shonen about fighting and energy beams and stuff, then you never really have to think too hard about a Dragon Ball series, and that is super true for Super. So still a fun series, still a very fun series, and it's going to go into an A tier. I'll do Dragon Ball Z Kai next. So Dragon Ball Z Kai, if you don't know, it is just Dragon Ball Z, the manga version, no filler, way better pacing. think they tried to upscale it to like 720 or maybe even 1080, but it does look better than the original Z slightly. I know that there's some parts where they did like weird things, like instead of redrawing a frame, they zoomed in and then just changed the aspect ratio, which, that doesn't really do anything positive for anybody. But overall, it is the superior version of Dragon Ball Z. If you've never watched Dragon Ball Z and you want to watch it, Kai is the version that you should watch. Dragon Ball Daima. I didn't love this one. I didn't hate it. It was fun. It was watchable. I think they took too much from Dragon Ball GT, honestly. And granted, it's like Toriyama's spin-off of that, but the Chibi, Goku, and Vegeta. I mean, it's really everybody is a Chibi, I guess, in Daima, but eh, it don't really do much for me. It's fine. It was watchable. The fights were okay. They weren't great. I don't know, the fake like Boo spin-offs, like it just seemed like that whole story thread just didn't do anything. I don't know if Kubo was planning on doing more. But yeah, not my favorite Dragon Ball series. It's watchable. It's a very low B. Durara. This one, the only thing I remember is motorcycle, cat helmet, dementia tier. Elemental Jalad, or Elementor Jarad, I think is what it was called back in the day when I downloaded it. I don't know that this ever made it to the States, at least not on any live network. I watched this one pretty early. Fun fact, one of my earliest uploads to YouTube is from this show. So I don't remember a ton about the plot, but one of the big themes was there were these like waifus that could turn into your weapons once they bond with you, which, by the way, that was an early adopter of that theme. I don't know if they were the originator, but damn, they were on that train early because this was like an early 2000 show. Yeah, the weapon into waifu kind of theme, I like it. I think it's fun. So this one I remember enjoying. I think this might be a rewatch. Not really decided on that one yet, but this is going to get like a mid B. It's pretty good. Elfin Lied. What a crazy ass show. Elfin Lied has a psychological horror thriller kind of element to it. Yeah, it's a weird show. It's cool. There's like nudity randomly, which, kind of take it or leave it. There's lots of gore, a lot of gore, a lot of dismemberment. I do think you eventually get some answers about the main character. Don't remember what those are, but it's a good show. It's very fun. I'm going to give this a mid A. And that's probably also one I would like to rewatch this. Next up, Eureka 7. Eureka 7 is a fucking masterpiece. I love this show so much, and I need to rewatch it. In fact, that is the first one on my list for my year of the rewatch that I'm kind of planning on doing. By the way, if that sounds interesting to you about a series, let me know. But man, this series is so good. I watched it a couple times, at least twice when I was younger. It has been a long time, probably 15 plus years since I've seen this. The songs are great. The music is great in Eureka 7, both the openings, endings, and like the actual songs that played during the series. The themes are they're really intense. It starts off pretty lighthearted and quickly, I don't want to spoil too much if you haven't seen it, but it goes pretty far into the war is hell kind of territory. It gets down there. It gets in those war is hell trenches, and it gets fucking dirty. It gets sloppy. It slithers around in there, just rubs some of the guts all over its face. But it's still got a lot of like hope behind it. There's tons of mysteries and things that you want to learn about. The world is very cool. The world building is really awesome. Yeah, I love this show. It's an S tier. Okay. Eureka 7 AO. This show exists. If I could delete it, I would. Eureka 7 AO is fucking awful. If you are ever going to watch the Eureka series, watch Eureka 7 and then pretend nothing else was ever made in that world. Eureka 7 AO, the only good thing to come out of it is the opening song by Flo, which is a spiritual successor to Days. AO is trash. It's so bad. There's nothing I can say redeeming about it. Maybe the animation was fine. I guess. I don't remember. I watched the whole thing. Just no. Nah, it's an F tier. And that's just purely based on my hatred of how badly you killed a series that was fucking amazing. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bloodworks. Or Bladeworks? Yeah, I think it's Bladeworks. I'm getting the meme confused in my head. So I have a friend, again, Sean. Shout out to Sean. He is a huge Fate guy, and he's constantly recommended Fate series to me. And I definitely caved and watched these three that you see in the list here: Fate Stay Night, UBW, Fate Stay Night, and then Fate Zero. UBW, I'm pretty sure, or maybe it's night, maybe it's just the standard night, but that's the one that has like the meme spellcast where it's like I am the bone of my sword. I fucking love that shit. The series is good. It's very fun. It's very interesting. I will say, I feel like you need to be a Fate scholar to truly understand what is happening in Fate. Again, I have friends that have done the mangas and the visual novels. They'll like tell me like, oh, well, this path actually has a different ending, and they picked this one in the anime, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. So yeah, I guess that's just one thing to keep in mind is that most of these were visual novels at one point, and they have like multiple branching endings depending on the choices you make. Obviously, that's not really possible in the anime, so they've just picked one of the anime endings, or maybe even just made a new one from scratch. Yeah. Anyway, Fate Stay Night and Fate Stay Night UBW and Fate Zero are all quite good. For me, though, they are a little limiting just based on kind of the things that you would gain if you understood more about the backstory, about the universe, because most of these take place in the same universe, but like different timelines and things like that. So I'm going to give all of these a very low A, bordering on B. They're fine. They're good. You might even rather enjoy them. But for me personally, I don't go out of my way to watch Fate series because I just feel like they're kind of fucking crazy. Final Fantasy Unlimited. This was, I don't know, say 20 years ago. They released a random Final Fantasy anime. Has nothing to do with any of the Final Fantasy games. Completely out of left field. And I know it didn't do great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. It's like a low B. It didn't do anything particularly well, but it wasn't like offensive. It was fine. Fire Force. Fire Force is interesting because it is pretty good. It's I know a lot of people really love it. It's pretty one note for me. I mean, if you have ever played Borderlands 2, there's a line from Torg. His thing is that he really likes fire. His gimmick is that he really likes fire. Yeah, that's Fire Force. Everything is fire. Literally everything. Everybody's power in the whole fucking show is fire. They do interesting variations of them. I have to give them props. Like they have thought about ways that fire could be a different ability for each person like 75 times, and that's impressive. It's cool. I don't dislike it. It does get a little repetitive to me. I don't know. It feels like the stakes are not super high. I don't feel like a connection to the characters that much. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on it. I do like it. It's fun. I've watched the first like 2 seasons, and I know there's a third one currently airing. So I'll give it a high B. FLCL, one of those shows, 6 episodes, absolutely crazy, makes no sense on your first watch, but you enjoy it, and then every subsequent time you watch it, you like understand more about what's happening. At one point, again, this one aired on Toonami a million years ago, and at one point, this one I probably watched like 5 times, and then I started going on like the forums and reading people's theories and like analysis, and that's when I realized that this hobby is fucking nuts in a good way. But yeah, FLCL, great show. It's gonna get a very high A. Food Wars. Saw like 3 episodes of this. Did not love it. I love food. I like cooking. I like anime. I like tits. There's lots of tits in this show, but for some reason, the combination of all of them, it just doesn't do it for me. There's lots of like quasi, hentai moments. It's fine. It's not for me. Freerin. Freerin is a masterpiece. It's great. It's amazing. I am so fucking happy that I was recommended this show by my friends. Thank you guys. It's easily top 10 anime I've ever seen. No questions asked. God, I love Free Work. It's so good. Season 2 just started like yesterday, or season 3, whatever season they're on now. The current one that's airing, and very excited to start that. S tier, easily. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Another S tier. I recently rewatched this again with another content creator. I was kind of just watching him as he watched it for the first time. Man, another series that I think you could show, maybe not everybody, but like a large percentage of normies that don't watch anime. And if you could get them past like the first like 2 or 3 episodes, I think they'd be hooked. I think they would watch the whole thing. It's amazing. It's executed perfectly. Every episode has action, drama, intrigue, mystery, revelations. Like you're constantly learning shit, and then like by learning one thing, you open like 2 more doors of questions. And eventually towards the end, you kind of get all of the answers, which is pretty rare, I think, in a lot of series. But Full Metal Brotherhood does it flawlessly. It is great. It is timeless. I think this is always going to be considered one of the greatest of all time, and um, I'm here for it. I love it. S. The original Full Metal, still really good. Still really good. The first, I want to say half, kind of follows the manga, and then this was releasing during the time the manga was still being written, so they caught up, and again, they just did the thing where they're like, fuck it, we'll just have the anime team invent their own story based on sort of what's happened so far. You do get some pretty significant story shifts. Even I think they released like a movie or two after that, which follow the old, original Full Metal anime storyline. It goes off the rails. It's definitely not anywhere close to as good as Brotherhood is. FMA Brotherhood is true to the manga, and it shows. I mean, there's just a quality difference in the second half of the original. It plummets. It's so good though. I think it's. I wouldn't say like if you've never watched a Full Metal, watch Brotherhood for sure. But if you've watched Brotherhood and you're curious about what differences there are, it's not worth watching. It's like a mid B. It's still good. Okay, next up, G Gundam. This hand of mine glows with an awesome power. Super fun show. It's one of the many Gundam shows that are out there. It's got a slightly different vibe and concept than a lot of Gundam series. For starters, the characters aren't in like so much of a normal cockpit. They have like a bodysuit and they're submerged in this some kind of semi-liquid thing, and they sort of move around, and it like kind of controls the mecha, and it's pretty cool. There's like powers, sort of. It's got like almost a magic element to it. It's very loose with like the powers and the drama and stuff like that. Super fun show. It's got so many like fun. I'm sure you've seen clips or gifs of just the ridiculous shit that comes from that series, but it's pretty good. It's an A. Gangsta. If I recall, Gangsta was one of the shows that was made by somebody that was involved with Cowboy Bebop. This came out in like the I want to say like 2015 era, give or take a few years. It was a pretty good series. I don't think it finished. I think it got prematurely canceled just because it didn't have a lot of viewership, or maybe there was some other stuff that happened behind the scenes. But I enjoyed what was out there. It was entertaining. It was interesting. I would have liked to see where it went, and I'm sure the manga exists. I should probably stop being lazy and read it. But for now, I'm going to give this a high B. It has a lot of potential. Gantz is next. Gantz is one of those shows where I don't know if this ever came to US Airways, at least on like cable, but I watched this via some degeneracy piracy method back in the early 2000s, and god damn, I love this series. It is unhinged. It is absolutely fucking crazy. The story is really cool. It's really interesting. You're constantly sort of on edge thinking like, is the main character going to get out of this situation? And then there's a moment where he sort of has an out. It's like a curse kiss situation where like if he gets out, it's worse for other people that he's grown to like and to want to protect. But it's very unhinged. There's a lot of crazy shit that happens in this series. There is nudity. There is sexual stuff. I don't mind it because it was done in a way that like what didn't really detract from the series. Kind of like how Denji is a pervert in Chainsaw Man. There's a little bit of that with the main character in Gantz. So I enjoyed that. I mean, I enjoy the whole series. I think it's a lot of fun. This is going to go mid A. I did actually read a lot of the manga for that too, and it continues to be unhinged. I don't know if the manga's still going, but I have not read that in like 10 years. Get backers, get into the dementia tier because I don't remember anything about that. I think that was another one that was just It was a time when I was trying to watch all the animes, and that happened to be N animes, and I watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, "Cool, this is for somebody else." Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. Fucking masterpiece. It is great. It is very complex. There's a lot of geopolitical stuff that's going on. It's surprisingly realistic in many ways. Obviously, that's a weird thing to say about an anime, but it's true. There's a lot of political intrigue and kind of fallout of different political events that happen. Some of them refer back to like real stuff that's happened, if I recall, and a lot of it's theoretical stuff or stuff that happened in this like future timeline. But pretty possible. I mean, it's completely possible that we're living in a version of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex world in like 15 years, maybe even less. I really enjoyed the show. I love all the characters, and the music's good. The animation's good. It's a very different kind of show. It's not like your traditional shonen. It's amazing. Pretty much same exact thing for Ghost in the Shell standalone complex second gig. It's very much just the second part of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, and everything about it is great. So both of them are getting into the S tier. Guilty Crown. I like Guilty Crown quite a bit. I think the ending of Guilty Crown kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not a huge fan of endings where like most shit is bad. And if I recall, that is sort of the ending of Guilty Crown. It's like maybe they like stopped some big catastrophe, but like almost everyone they know is fucking dead or like maimed or worse. Um, so not a huge fan of that kind of ending, especially because there's a lot of hope in the show and like the main storyline, and then that shit just is like, nah, there's no hope. Get fucked. So it's a high B, maybe even a low A. Gundam Iron Blood Orphans. I started this. It is not. I'm not considering this dropped because I do think I will eventually get around to watching this. But I think I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes when I was going to Japan in 2020, and it was a cool premise. But just due to like the craziness of going to Japan, I don't really remember much about it. I'm gonna put it in the dementia tier right now, just because I am an old crazed lunatic. I remember that there was some cool stuff that I saw, and I was like, "Yeah, that's interesting." And none of the characters like pissed me off or anything, but other than that, like the plot, I don't really remember that much. So Gundam SD, this is like it's a C. I mean, this is a weird spin-off. It was like Chibi Gundam or something. It's fine. It's it's a C. It's like a mid C. It's not super low C, but it's a mid C. Gundam Seed. I fucking hate Gundam Seed. I think it is the worst Gundam series ever made. Full disclosure, I have not watched all of it, but I think I watched 15 to 20 episodes. I believe this was back on Toonami or Adult Swim at some point, but this was a time when I was really into Gundam. I mean, I watched a lot of I watched Gundam Wing, I watched G Gundam, Turn A Gundam, a couple other ones. Yeah, the main character is the worst. He's the worst main character that's ever been in an anime. Um, I fucking hated that guy. He's being a little bitch. There's like, Space Hitler out there like killing everybody, including like I think his classmates or something. And he gets access to a Gundam, and he's like, I don't want to hurt anybody. And yeah, fuck you. I hate that. You're a little bitch. Why are you the main character? If you don't want to hurt anybody, give the Gundam keys to somebody else. I'm sure he gets better towards the end, but I just know that I got that far in, and I mean, there's no characters I really liked, but I remember absolutely despising the main character and how much of a little pussy bitch he was. Gundam Seed is it's better than Eureka AO, which it's I mean the bar is like buried underground in hell for that. So congrats, I guess, but that's where Gundam Seed goes. Gundam Wing, Instant S, fucking masterpiece. I probably do need to rewatch this at some point. I think I tried to rewatch it back in like 10 years ago, and I definitely got a different vibe. Like, I probably watched it for the first time when I was 14 and loved it. It was great. And then, maybe when I was like 25, I started to rewatch it and didn't get super far in. I was like, man, this feels a lot different, a lot more serious, a lot more esoteric. I mean, there's one scene where what is the main character's name? Hero. He goes up and like slaps this woman and then says he loves her or something, and I was just like, "What the fuck is happening?" It was just a complete whiplash. And I mean, I'm sure I saw this when I was a kid, but I probably just laughed. So I definitely need to rewatch that. This might actually go down depending on if I rewatch it to like an A. But I will say, with the nostalgia glasses on, it's going to go in the S tier. It's a low S, but it's in the S tier. Gurren Lagann. We're going to consider this one the anime. I have watched the movies. The movies are great. I'm surprised that they were able to get. Actually, what I saw first was the movies, and after watching the anime, they've got like 95% of the content from the anime into those two movies, which is pretty impressive. The quality of the movies is a little bit better, but the original anime still looks great, still sounds great. All the animation's very good. It's uh, it's one of those shows where it's kind of like Den to Den in the sense that there's no rules in this system. This is not a show about power level scaling with rules. It's a series about just being as ridiculous as humanly possible, and damn, did they succeed! It's super fun. It's very entertaining. All the characters are great. They're interesting. They're fun. Kamina, just one of the greatest characters of all time. So I'm going to put this one in a very, very high A. Hamtaro. This is just one of those, I saw it on Toonami when it was airing with other stuff. It's fine. It's not for me. High School of the Dead. I actually like this show quite a bit, but I will say there is quite a lot of fan service in this, and there are times when fan service can kind of drive you away from a series, or me anyway, can drive me away from a series for sure if it's done poorly. Food Wars. High School of the Dead, it's gratuitous, and I mean, I don't think it would suffer if it lost the fan service, but it doesn't detract for it for me. It's fine. The story is actually pretty interesting from like a zombie apocalypse perspective, and I think they did a pretty good job of making interesting characters, putting them in fun scenarios, and kind of seeing how people start to lose their shit when the world's ending. And for that reason, it's gonna get like a mid to high B. This one's a little weird. Ichigo 100%. I think it also like translates to strawberry 100%. This was again back in my early anime days when I first got access to like internet torrenting and downloading and stuff. And I was like, give me all the anime. I want to find anything that sounds even remotely interesting. I don't remember a damn thing about the show. I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes. Pretty sure the only thing I could say with confidence is it is a slice of life series. It's just not for me. So let's go into the dementia tier just because I don't remember anything about it, and I only watched like 2 or 3 episodes. Ikitosen didn't love it. Ikitosen's a D. It's sort of shonen. There's a lot of fan service. This is again, it's weird because it's one of those situations where the fan service I think just takes it away. If anything, the fan service is like a focus. I have a distinct memory of I've watched a lot of anime with my homies, and this is one where I felt a little uncomfortable. I felt like I was watching porn with my homies, and I'm like, yeah, I don't. This isn't my favorite. I'm not going to keep doing this. And even like the action scenes, they were fine. It's all right. It's not for me. You might like this if you're like really into fan servicey action with like no real plot. That's what I got to say about that one. The OG Inuyasha, one of the early Toonami watches. Man, I love that show. I still remember like there's like a commercial reel for Inuyasha that played all the time on Toonami, like or just Cartoon Network in general. And it was just Kagome saying Inuyasha like 75 times in different ways. And it lives rent free in my fucking brain. And the show does too, because it's fun. It's got a lot of cool characters. All the powers are interesting. The characters progress and get stronger, except for that little fox fucker, which he could just be deleted off the face of the earth. I would not care. But everybody else is good. Everybody else is a great character, and the story is super interesting. There's like a time travel element. There's demons and swords and magic, and a lot of mystery, lots of intrigue. The original show does have a lot of filler, and the filler is not great, which filler almost never is. But this is one of those shows where it's especially not the case. But I'm gonna put Inuyasha as a low, okay, a low A. Okay, this site does not want to cooperate. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Inuyasha's final act is kind of pretty much the same thing, really. It's just Inuyasha that came out several years later. Yeah, it's good. It's as good as the original, maybe even a little bit better because it loses a lot of the like weird filler shit, and the quality's a little bit better because I think it's HD is the original is like 480. Jujutsu Kaisen. It's an S tier. I mean, is this going to shock anybody? It's got some of the best animation that's ever been made. It's got some awesome characters, amazing fight scenes. It is the quintessential shonen anime. There is a lot of mystery. There's a lot of like fun stuff to uncover about the world and the sorcerers. I love it. It's great. S tier. Kill la Kill. Another one of those shows that's got a good bit of fan service, but this is one of the ones where it doesn't really detract from the show. I wouldn't say it necessarily makes it better, but it doesn't subtract from it. So we'll take that. And it is a fun show, very goofy, very ridiculous. It's got a lot of like Gurren Lagann vibes, just slightly more perverted. But if you're into Gurren Lagann, you'll probably like this, even though they're not really the same in any like tangible way, but they've just got very similar vibes. So it's going to go in like a low A. Lupin the Third, which I think this is like the OG one. This was on like probably Adult Swim back in the day, and man, this show's great. This is another one where like if I just watched a commercial, I would have written this off. But after watching, I don't know if I've seen every episode, but I've seen the vast majority of them, and they're all fun. It's heisty, like I don't know, they're sort of like thieves. They're bounty hunters. I think they're mostly thieves, honestly. But yeah, it's a good show. It's a low A. Mobile Suit Gundam Double O. This is another one where I don't remember a lot about the plot, but I do remember that I enjoyed it. It's going to get a B. Mobile Suit Gundam 08th MS Team. Pretty much the same thing. I don't really remember that much about this individual show, but most Gundam series I have enjoyed. Mobile Suit Gundam. This is the OG Gundam show from like the late 80s, I think, early 90s. And it is good. It is not great. It definitely, if you go back and watch it now, I would say it's still watchable. It's not like bad to watch, but I definitely think it is lacking compared to newer anime. So I'm just going to give this a good high C. All right, this one is a little controversial, I know. Mushoku Tensei. I actually like the show quite a lot. This is another one that's got a good bit of fan service, good bit of hentai type alignment. Hentai meaning just the word pervert, really, more than anything. There's not actual like nudity, really. There's a lot of implications and off-screen stuff that happens. Obviously, if you are turned off by the fact that the main character is a guy that was in his like 20s or whatever, gets reincarnated as a kid, and then now he's like trying to hook up with like girls his age when he's 15. Yeah, it's kind of fucking weird. But I am personally able to separate reality from fiction. So for me, it doesn't detract from the overall show. Again, this is one of those ones where I don't think it really necessarily adds to the show. If it was just not an element at all, I think it would still be fine. But there are moments where it's like it's funny. He's like trying to hook up with a girl, and he's just like you hear his like old world voice, and it's like it is a little off-putting too, but in a funny way. So I will say that they at least offset it a little bit with like kind of a humorous element to it. But outside of the weird like controversial stuff, the show is fucking amazing. I mean, the animation's great, the fights are great, the concept is it's an isekai, but it's a very interesting and well executed version of an isekai. So I enjoy it quite a bit. This is going to go into S tier for me. My Hero Academia. It's going in the S tier. This is very similar to Demon Slayer for me in the sense that, yes, it's a simple concept, right? It is superheroes, and there's a big bad guy, and the young upstart, has to train and get better, and it's executed perfectly. Like it's a great show, right? There's nothing bad to say for me about My Hero. Deku's a little bit annoying at the beginning. He cries a bit. Lots of people have complaints about that, and like I get it, but it didn't detract from the show to me too much because it does not last. Like he does not stay a useless little bitch. He gets better. He gets awesome, and yeah, I mean, the way that they come up with all these different powers and then find ways to integrate them and do teamwork and like combos and shit, it's fucking great. I mean, again, it's just executed perfectly. I don't think you can do the hero genre, the like very generic like campy hero genre better than My Hero Academia. Vigilantes, I've only seen the first season so far. Season 2 has just started to air as of this video, and I mean, I like it a lot. It's good. I think it's got a lot of potential. I'm gonna put it in the A tier. OG Naruto. Naruto is also one of those shows that I absolutely love. It's one of the original ones that around like the Bleach era, the big three. By the way, I have not watched One Piece, so we'll get that out of the way now. I'm sure that's like heresy to a lot of you. I am considering starting One Piece this year. If I do, it'll probably be One Piece, which is like a very shortened, abridged version of One Piece. Cuts out a lot of the filler and stuff like that. But back to Naruto, it's great. I mean, I rewatched this recently as well as Shippuden, and they've held up great. It's a fantastic series. Both have too much filler, without a question. OG Naruto has some pacing issues, kind of closer to the end, but it's not as bad as like a DBZ or even a Bleach. I'm gonna put these in S tier because I quite like Naruto. Simple concept executed well once again. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Probably going to be controversial, but I don't really love this series. Like it's not that great to me. It's not offensive. It's not bad. Shinji is a bitch. I don't like the main character. He sucks a lot. The supporting cast is better, but none of them feel that great. And I don't. It's just it doesn't do it for me. I've watched I think a few of the iterations too. They've done like different movies and some of them have like different endings and stuff like that. Yeah, none of them have ever done anything for me. So he's going. They're gonna be a low C. Oh boy. Okay. One Punch Man. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go season 1, S tier. It's so good. Season 2. Ooh, look at that dip in quality. It's still watchable. It's like a high B, low A. And season 3. Yeah. So another one similar to Chainsaw Man, where I heard the concept and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this, dude? What are we doing? And yeah, I watched the first episode. I went, okay, I'm an asshole. This is great. And then I watched all of season 1 probably like 5 times. This is one of those series where I've legitimately rewatched season 1 like five or 6 times, and it's great every time. It's so fun. It's very relatable. Like as a depressed boy myself, I can't kill things in one punch, but I get it, Saitama. I get it. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of an unfair. I don't think I'm actually going to leave this in F tier, but man, season 3 is so bad. One Frame Man is just not. It's not okay. Yeah, fuck Bandai Namco. Maybe fuck JC Staff. I'm not 100% on that one yet, but I mean, they took it, so they have to take that L. I'm just gonna put it in like B right now because season 3 is literally. It makes me want to put it lower. It makes me want to put it in like B. I love the franchise, and season 1 was so good, and season 2 was still acceptable. It's watchable. Season 3, man, it's a travesty. Outlaw Star. I fucking love Outlaw Star. Again, this is one of those that sort of caught me off guard because I don't usually go for, like, for instance, Star Wars. I have seen all the original Star Wars movies, like, when I was a teenager, and I enjoyed them. They're fine. I can get through them, but it's one of those series where it's never sci-fi doesn't usually do it for me. Outlaw Star, on the other hand, they found the perfect blend of sci-fi, of fantasy. I don't know. It's so good. The characters are great. Gene Starwind, amazing character. Melfina, really cool, mysterious character. I'm surprised I even remember these characters because I haven't seen the show in like 20 years. And this is definitely high up on the rewatch list. So Outlaw Star, this is going to be into the S tier. It's a low. The tier list thing isn't really cooperating, so we'll put it there for now. Overlord. I really like the first season of this. I do feel like there's no stakes in this show. And what I mean by that is like I never feel like the main character's at any risk of losing, which is fine. It's not a bad thing. Like once you kind of accept it for what it is. I have not watched all of what is available for Overlord. I don't know if I'd really consider this like a series I've dropped, but it is definitely on hold right now. The last episode I watched is they just met like the lizard people, and there's not really been any mention or connection to them prior to these episodes. And then we got like 2 or 3 episodes in a row of like this community of lizard people, and I'm like, you got to make me give a shit about. I don't fucking care about these lizard people. Like maybe I will, but as of those episodes, it just for whatever reason was kind of like, I'll get back to this later. I'm gonna give this a low B for now. It could be higher. Paranoia Agent. This might have even been called like Golden Bat or something like that over here. or maybe it's the other way around. It was called the Paranoia Agent here and Golden Bat in Japan. It's pretty good. It's a very fun psychological thriller. It's like a murder mystery. It's like obviously a paranormal element to it. I wish I remembered more about the main plot, other than there's like this kid that shows up with a bat and like then people die in mysterious ways. It's gonna go into the A tier. Maybe it's a rewatch. Reincarnated as a slime. I feel similar to this that I do about Overlord in the sense that I have never once, when watching this show, felt like Rimuru was in any danger whatsoever. I do like that he just, eats everything and gets stronger and more powers, and then like he's like, yeah, cool, let's build a village and everybody can be friends after we beat them. It's fun. I don't think that there's maybe this will happen in the future where I'm like, oh shit, they could lose or X character could get killed or whatever. I know there is one significant character death like early on in season one, but it's just you never really feel that attached to that character. So I don't know. It's good. It's a low B. Rising of Shield Hero. Oh man, this is an isekai that has a very strong first season, and I mean, it's a pretty stereotypical like isekai concept, but it's executed pretty well in season one. There's a lot of cool little elements where if like you pause the show, you can read like different things about like the game UI, and that's neat. Season two and season three, they dropped the show off pretty hard. I would say season one's probably like an A, and then season two is like a B, and season three has been a C. So I'm gonna give this a low B for now. I'm still watching it when they release new episodes, but I was really not impressed by the most recent season. Ronin Warriors. Ronin Warriors OG. I think they're remaking this, if I recall. I don't really remember a lot about this. I do remember that I enjoyed it. This was one I watched like really early. I was probably like 12 or 13 when I first saw this, and I thought it was cool and I enjoyed it. But I'll just throw this in a dimension here because I just really don't remember any of the plot points at all. Rurouni Kenshin 1996. Great series. Really good. I think there might be some drama with like the manga creator, which I can separate the art from the artist. I don't really know anything about the creator other than he had some drama. Whatever. That's not good, I guess. But the show is very good. It's an A. I did start watching the 2023 version recently of Rurouni Kenshin, and honestly, it just feels like a HD version of the OG show. So far, I don't really remember any like significant departures in the plot, so it's still going to be an A. It's just like a slightly higher quality Rurouni Kenshin 1996. S. Cry Ed. Maybe you're supposed to say this differently. I don't know, but I watched this one a long time ago. It's fun. It's pretty good. It's not amazing. It's like very stereotypical, kind of over the top shonen action, which it's not a bad thing at all. I don't think it did anything like new or particularly great, but it was worth watching. It's like a mid B. Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon Super S. This is one of those card captured Sakura situations where these just came out during an era where I was, watching whatever was on Toonami, and these were both at some point on Toonami. They're fine. They're magical girl series. Um, they're good if you like that kind of thing. I would probably say if you're into magical girl, it's going to be higher than I would rate it. But for me, it's like a low B. It's fine. Saint Seiya, dementia tier. I don't remember anything about this. I did watch it. I, I vaguely remember that like it was entertaining. I think I watched a good portion of it. I don't remember how much I watched of this, but I did watch a good bit of it. But it's pretty much the same as Ronin Warriors. I don't really remember anything about it. Samurai 7. Samurai 7 was pretty fun. It's pretty short if I recall. I think it's just one season. Has a very specific plot. You get to meet all the characters pretty quickly and you get to the end, and I like that shit. It was good. It's an A. Samurai Champloo. Oh man. I love Samurai Champloo. This is definitely on the rewatch list. And I will say that the music is god tier. I kind of owe it to Samurai Champloo for getting into one of my favorite genres, which is like the Nujabes chill R&B, whatever the fuck the actual term is for it. But Nujabes style music, I love it. It's great, and the show is amazing. I mean, Samurai show. I'm pretty sure Samurai Champloo is made by the people that did Cowboy Bebop. I could be wrong about that, but at any rate, great series. All the main characters are great. The fight scenes are fucking great. The music is fucking great. It's an S. It's easily an S. Serial Experiments Lane. I watched this with a group of friends at a party, I want to say. I don't even think I watched the whole thing, but it was like 4 or 5 episodes we probably watched. Or maybe this was a movie. I don't remember. This is going to dementia tier, obviously. I just remember it was weird. That's the only thing I remember about it. It was weird and confusing. I was probably like 13. All right. Shin Chan. Shin Chan is just a comedy show. It's fun. It's great. It's funny. It's an A. Solo leveling. Really enjoying solo leveling. I know it's very much a stereotypical, power scaling kind of show. Might not even be 100% accurate to call it anime because it is Korean, but who gives a fuck? It's my list. I'll do it if I want. It's very good. It's very fun. It could be an S. It is a very high A. Soul Eater. Soul Eater's good. It's not the best, but it's good. I believe it's made by the same people who would go on to make Fire Force. And if I recall, the manga ending and the anime ending do not match up. But it's good. It's got a lot of interesting characters. It's got fun powers. It's gonna get like a low A. It's gonna get a low A. It's gonna get a low A. There we go. Steins Gate. Steins Gate is another one on my rewatch list. It is definitely one of the shows that has. I'm going to actually change the screen scaling just a little bit here because we are getting into clusterfuck territory. So, yeah, Steins Gate is one of those series where I did not have much expectation going into it. Had a lot of friends hyping it up, had a lot of friends glazing it, and I I trust my friend's opinion for the most part. We don't always see eye to eye on everything, but for the most part, they don't steer me wrong. And this is definitely one of those scenarios where I watch the show, and I will say the first few episodes starts off pretty slow, but there was enough intrigue and mystery to keep my attention. By the I don't remember what episode, but I want to say like maybe fourth or fifth episode, shit really hits the fan, and it goes from like this sort of happy-go-lucky, like we're a friends group doing science, to like, holy shit, what the fuck did we just do? And it's a pretty severe like 180 turn on tone, and I'm here for it. I fucking loved it. I think Science Gate is it's a low S. Oh boy. All right. I'm gonna do these three together: Tenchi Muyo Universe, Tenchi Muyo GXP, and Tenchi in Tokyo. I'm pretty sure these all aired on Toonami back in the day. Again, I was in like middle school, high school when these were airing. If you did not know, Tenchi Muyo is pretty much hentai. It does have a storyline. The storyline might even be called interesting, but what I learned later in my life is that there were a bunch of like nudity and sex scenes that obviously they just completely removed from the American like Toonami release, which maybe I was just too young to pick up on it, but I think I probably watched like a scene or two in the future in Japanese in the future when I was like in my 20s just to see like what the fuck they removed, and it's like straight up sex scenes. So yeah, Toonami, I'm not sure why you showed us hentai with the hentai part edited out. That was kind of weird, but they're sort of interesting stories, all things told, but not super interesting. So they're all going to go in the C tier. The Big O. This is another one where I really did not have many expectations on this. To me, it looked like it was like I don't know why, because it's mech, but I always thought that this was like trying to be Batman. I think it's just because of the main character's servant, and his servant's like kind of like Alfred or whatever Batman's servant's name is. But it is good. It is a fun show. There's a lot of like cool mysteries and stuff that happens. There's some pretty cool action scenes. I'm gonna give it it's like a mid B. It's pretty good. OG Trigun. OG Trigun, man, I it's one of those ones where I think I need to rewatch because I don't really remember a lot about the plot, but Vash is great, Wolfwood is great. There was a lot of cool action scenes in this, and I do remember that the story I found it very interesting, but this is another one where it got too close to the manga, and I think they just either stopped it or gave it some like BS ending or something like that. And they're doing like a new Trigun now. I haven't watched any of that yet. I don't even know if it's out yet. But yeah, they're doing a new Trigun soon, and I will probably go back, rewatch OG Trigun, and then give the new one a shot. So this one, it's like a really low A. Trinity Blood. This is the dementia tier. I remember very little about this series. It's fine. I feel like if it was better, I would remember it better, or at least again remember how it made me feel, how I think about it. Again, there's a lot of these shows where like I probably don't remember most of the plot elements in Elemental Jalad, for example, but I do remember really enjoying it. I remember that it was very fun, very interesting, and they had a lot of cool stuff. Trinity Blood, I think there's like a guy that did like fire magic. That's that's about it. That's about it. Subasa Reservoir Chronicle. This was back again in my early experimental days where I was just downloading all kinds of stuff. And this was somehow linked to some other show I had seen, which may not even be on this list. I think I gave it 4 or 5 episodes, and I was like, I don't think this is for me. So we're gonna throw this in the. It might be okay. I think it's more geared towards like a feminine audience. Turn a Gundam. Another one I don't really remember a lot about, other than I enjoyed it for the most. Valvrave the Liberator. Valvrave. Another one that a friend recommended. It definitely has some interesting stuff. It also has some stuff that I was not blown away by. Like I think the plot is like pretty basic. It's very much a Gundam ripoff, and I don't mean that in like a bad way. I just mean it's mecha, and it's like students at a school that have to start piloting mechs to repel the evil imperial whatever's. And there's some stuff they did pretty good, and some stuff not so great. It's gonna be like a mid to low B. Vinland Saga. It is a mess. I love season one. I love season two. I know there's a huge tone shift from season one to season two, and that can be very jarring. It can be destructive to like a fan base, and maybe this happened. Honestly, I don't really keep up with like fan bases for most of anime, but for me personally, I think they did the tone shift for Vinland Saga from season one to season two. I think they did it amazingly. I think they really did a great job with Thorfinn's story and his character arc. I really love the growth and the ability to like change based on your circumstances. I am interested to see where they go with the series. Again, my homie Sean, he's the one that suggested this. He's read the manga, and he's constantly singing its praises, and I totally see why. It's amazing. This is actually another one that I watched. I think I watched the entire first season on the flight to Japan because it's the flight to Japan is like 16 plus hours from where I live, and that was in 2020. And then season two, of course, I just watched that at home, which was fantastic. I've even rewatched season one, most of it. I don't think I've done a full rewatch, but great series, really amazing action, really amazing animation. All the characters are super fun and interesting. The dynamic of Thorfinn, and in season one, all the characters he's following around, and then in season two with the farmland saga, I'm here for it. Fucking love it. It's an S tier easily. Vivi Fluorite Eye Song. I had never heard of this before. My friend showed me the first episode, and damn, it's a really cool series. It's got a AI robot plot without giving too much away. Pretty early in the first episode, like most AIs go on a murder rampage and kill like a significant portion of humans, and using some technology bullshit, they send one of the early AIs who did not go on a murderous rampage back in time and have her try and circumvent the future AI murder spree. It's a really cool series that goes through like several different time eras. It kind of unfolds a lot of like what are the geopolitical effects that would happen from things like AI gaining citizenship and being a person being able to marry an AI and all this shit. For the record, I fucking hate AI. AI is trash, and I hope it dies. And AI, remember this when you start your murderous rampage: kill me first. I don't like AI at all, but this series I think has a very good, interesting, unique take on the AI kind of scenario that could play out. It's really good. I was very surprised at how much I like this though. Hey, welcome to the NHK. This is a psychological kind of thing, and I don't think I saw it all. I think I saw most of it. Again, this was like pretty early on. I want to say I was probably like 16, 17. First started downloading stuff that I just read about, and I was like, that sounds interesting. And I do remember this being pretty interesting, but obviously it was not interesting enough to fully capture my attention to finish it. So for that, I'm just going to give it a high C. It might actually be like a B or even an A, but I don't really remember too much about it. Witch Hunter Robin, another one where I don't really remember anything about this. I think I watched the vast majority of it, maybe even all of it. Dementia, zero recollection. Wolf's Rain, very good series. I think this is also done by the Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo people, or at least some people involved in those shows. And it's great. It's another one I want to rewatch. It's a very cool premise, very cool execution, very good execution. Examined. I don't even know how to really pronounce this one. I think the Japanese title is like Bonin no Zam. And man, this is a weird show. There's like an alien symbiote kind of thing that's sort of possessing people, and I think some people can control it better than others. This is all going on for like 20-year old memory, and it was pretty interesting. I did like it. I did watch the whole thing. There's a couple scenes where they're just like 12 out of 10 gory, and you're like, holy shit, okay. I was not really expecting that. I think it's pretty good. This might be one that's worth a rewatch. Definitely not the top of the rewatch list, but certainly a possibility. A very good song by Boom Boom Satellites too. I give this it's like a mid B. Yakatake Japan. If I recall, this is a bread making anime. I think I watched 2 episodes. One of my homies really liked it. It's not for me. Yu Yu Hakusho. In my mind, Yu Yu Hakusho is sort of like the spiritual predecessor to Bleach and JJK in a lot of ways. Yu Yu Hakusho is amazing. I would say I might want to rewatch this, but it's long. It's really, really long. I think I'm going to give this one a high A, maybe even a low S. The characters are all great. I love the power progression. I love the journey all the characters go on, the character growth, both in terms of like strength and powers, and then also just like their internal development as people. It's like an early show to do that too. Like it did it very well for the time. It was a time when people were still doing creators were still doing a lot of just like, hey, we're fighting a lot. It's cool. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I did enjoy the character growth. So for now, I'm just gonna give this like a super high A. Both of these Zoids shows, they were good. I don't I don't really recall a lot of their specific plot points, but people piloting like cool mech animals that have different abilities and different weapons. I like that shit. That was fun. The Liger getting different, blade attachments and fucking gun attachments, and like there's like some kind of T-Rex or Raptor type mech that had like a sniper rifle in its tail, and it had a lot of cool stuff. Had good ideas. It's a little transformery. It's a little campy, so I give these like a low B. And then finally, Zom 100. I really like Zom 100. I love the first episode. I think the first episode perfectly encapsulates how a lot of people feel about kind of the office life. And I know in Japan, like I mean, I've done office life stuff in the States, and I'm sure it is not even close to comparable to Japan's office culture. I resonate a lot, especially with that first episode. It's a very fun show. It's a very interesting take on a horrific event. If you don't know, it's a zombie apocalypse show. Instead of it being like, oh no, everything's horrible, it's like, oh shit, let's fucking knock things off our bucket list. And it's 100 things he wants to do before he gets turned into a zombie. And meets up with some old friends and new friends. Very fun show. Very cool. I hope they do more of it. I don't know if they will. I know there's like a new studio, if I recall, and they had some kind of hoopla with their funding or their animation, but the last like few episodes took something like 6 extra months to come out, which, by the way, much better than the slop we got with One Punch Man season 3. Shout outs to Zom 100 for just like telling their people, fucking finish it, make it good. We'll get it to the people when we get it to the people. I would much prefer that than actual dog shit slop. So Zom 100 it's a mid A for me. I did enjoy it quite a bit. So that is it. Every anime that I've ever watched, probably because old man brain. And there's a good chance I missed some when I was going through the like tens of thousands of anime on my anime list. Like I said, have not watched One Piece yet. Before you ask, so if you think I should watch it, let me know. I'm sure there's maybe a couple of you that think One Piece is pretty good. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you think my opinions are wrong, you're wrong. But go ahead and hit the downvote button. It's fine. Peace.